So at 3 a.m., like the wind was really hard. Even my son woke up and it looked like even the windows were shaking. And so that morning we left, but we thought it was just a wind. We left for school, and then our neighbor said, oh, there's no school tomorrow. All the roads are closed, because actually we were without electricity. Then we went like walking to see on the road what was going on, and all the telephone poles were on the floor, like a domino, like all of them. And we were, whoa, like even then the police officer said, come back home, like, because it is dangerous to stay out here. And we had one plumeria tree broke. My concern was the plumeria tree at that moment. And so we decided like to stay home because of the wind, right? And we were like, the house is pretty strong and has rock walls, so we were thinking we were safe there, more like being inside the house than outside the house, right, because of the wind. But then the fire started. We saw the fire, but the fire was really far away, and everybody was saying, oh, the wind is blowing the other direction, so you guys are fine. But then the wind was started to get worse and worse. But I was like feeling peace of staying home. And I was so focused on my renovation that I was finishing to paint a mirror and putting some frames on the wall. I couldn't see. I didn't have a clue what was coming next. And I did a lot of videos because the smoke was really strong and it was coming faster and faster. But everybody around used to say, no, the wind, look, it's going to the ocean, it's going to the ocean. We didn't receive one message like for evacuation or anything like that. So, and my son was, since the afternoon, he was, Mom, I think we should leave. Just in case, I will pack a backpack and leave at the door. And he packed his backpack, but I didn't. And we were until the last minute. No, I think I was just afraid of getting a car and having a tree like this fall in the car, and right, we could not be able to escape. But then when it was really close, we said, yeah, we cannot stay here. But when we left the house, like I just grabbed some stuff very fast, and I never thought I would never be back. Like I didn't bring anything. And when we leave, like we try to go to our friend's house that is more on the top of the mountain, and we couldn't find his house, but there was a lot of cars parked in the main street. And as we understood, the police officers were like saying for us to just stop, park there, to wait. Then we would come back to the house. Like that was the direction. There was a tons of cars there. And then after I saw a picture, all these cars were burned. And we were trying to go to Kihei, but we couldn't go because the wind was so strong on the main street close to the ocean that there was a hurricane like in front of us. So when we went up to the city, we saw the whole Lahaina burning, and it was a really tragical, like shocking image. And at that moment, I said to Ryan, "No, we need to get out of here."
So where we were at was Lania Poco. Yeah, we were just looking down and just seeing my hometown on fire. It was just surreal, and yeah, it's hard to put it in words, like what, that moment, seeing the trauma that my wife was experiencing and my son, and yeah, I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, but even like after, I was, my faith is big, so I was 100% sure that our house would still be there, and that the fire, like, it was crazy because when we left, like, we saw the fire super close, but no one was saying that we had any risk of life. So I was, no, it's not going to come here. And then after we heard that the fire was 1 mile per minute, right, running. So in minutes, like, or an hour, it could be different if we decided to stay, and it's just like, so it's just shocking to see the whole, like, it was like a movie, like trying to escape of a tragedy, that moment that you don't know how it's gonna end the day. Like at one moment in the car, I was like, I don't know if we're gonna survive. I even looked to my son and I said, Kawan, if something happened, because we have a dog, I said, you run for your life. You run after Ryan. You don't wait for me or for Sushi, the dog, because I know that he loves the dog. And I said, just save your life. And I I said that like super emotionally and nervous, but at that moment I said, I don't know if we're going to be together, because it was really scary to be on that car with all that wind and that fire coming. So we didn't know how it would end, and thank God we ended okay. We are well, and that's what matters. But it was kind of a scary movie.
When we reached Malaya, we got a hold of him, one of the pastors, and he was like, "Oh yeah, just come to Maiden Hope. That was a sanctuary for those who were displaced." We were there for 2 nights, and then our pastors from New Hope, Pastor Dwayne Betzel and Janet Betzel, they have a cottage, and so they were letting us stay in their cottage for about 4 or 5 days. Now we're currently they just bought a little town home, and they haven't like registered it. Like they just finished renovating it, and so they were gracious enough to let us stay there, and so we're gonna start paying rent here in September. It's just because we just moved here like a couple weeks ago. Like I hate being the guy that asks for money and things like that, but it's just been. I was teaching at the surf school down in Breakwall 505 while my nursing license gets transferred over. So we didn't have our renovation done, and it was my wife's dream house. And so to see it all just go, it was like, wow.
We are like for 3 years in Redding, kind of living not in our own house. So this wasn't our own, but it's my mom-in-law. So we were like moving, said, now this is for real. This is a house that we're going to invest. So everything was new in boxes, and you see just that dream going away. Yeah, so... Yeah, the issue is today we even had a meeting with FEMA, and it's really like they just asked, do you have a TV, like a radio or stuff like that in the living room? But I said, no, like these things are even small. We didn't have, but we spent almost like $50,000 in this renovation, because just the kitchen part is like 15,000 more. Like just the like the guys for working was almost 40. And so all this money, but we are like a big Ohana, right? It's our mom-in-law. She was helping us. We are helping her. So we don't have anything like a formal thing. And of course the house is hers, but we were doing the renovation because we wanted to let the apartment that we're going to live like better. Oh, yeah. So, but now like they cannot cover this because we are just the people that are renting, so we couldn't. So they were just interested to know if there was TV and radio, and it was like even like a rice cooker. I said the price of a rice cooker, like really, is like $30. Like this is not even. But what I spent, it was like a new bathtub, new tiles, like new cabinets, all appliances. So all this, not sure that we will recover that.
So grateful. We're just we're just overwhelmed by the support that we've gotten from friends from Redding here, spiritual fathers and mothers of ours, just friends that, I mean, it's just again, it's like the body of Christ coming together and like helping out. Like it's just been, man, like without the church. I mean, the church is stepping up way more than the government, that's for sure. And seeing that on the island, like, it's just, it's crazy. And so, yeah, to all our donors, just thank you guys so much. Like, words, I can't put into words my gratitude and gratefulness for everybody.
Yeah, we really see how community, and that's the moment that we see the love of God on people, right? Because we really see community like helping each other. And even here, like churches that are like giving free, like we got backpacks with clothes, with like good clothes, like new things. And they're really being like, everybody's helping a lot. And so, yeah, we're really thankful of having like friends and community. But yeah, it's a lifetime to rebuild, but God rebuilds and restores.